Welcome back, Eagles fans. Today, we need to talk about some of the moves, moments, and individual efforts shaping the team right now because this stretch of the season is critical, and the stakes are high. Starting off, there's a lot of chatter around Jalen Hurts, and honestly, he is stepping up in ways that really show his commitment to winning. The guy has taken it upon himself to study his past performances, going back through tape to figure out what worked and what didn't. That kind of initiative speaks volumes about leadership and dedication, especially at a point in the season where every game feels like a playoff matchup. Watching him break down film, making adjustments, and looking for ways to improve is exactly what you want from your quarterback. It's the kind of mindset that can carry a team through the toughest parts of the schedule. And it's proof that Hurts is thinking not just about the present game, but about the overall trajectory of the Eagles' season. Speaking of leadership, this week has also seen some tough personnel changes, including the decision to cut Xavier Gibson. That one stings a bit, because you hate to see any player lose his job, especially someone who has shown flashes of potential. But when you look at the bigger picture, it becomes clear why the move was made. Consistency is key, and turnovers or missteps in critical moments can cost a team games, especially in the NFC East, where the margin for error is razor thin. Enter Brandon Cooks, who is back in the fold and ready to contribute. He may not be a game-breaking player every time he touches the ball, but his reliability and ability to secure field position make him a valuable asset. It's a practical move for the team, one that prioritizes stability without losing sight of explosiveness when it matters most. Watching the Eagles integrate him into the lineup will be interesting, and if he can produce in clutch situations, it could make a noticeable difference in the second half of the season. Now, we can't ignore the broader league context, because the NFC is shaping up in unpredictable ways. Teams are falling and rising week by week. And watching the Rams dominate the Cardinals, or seeing the Bears pull off wins that make you scratch your head, reminds you how volatile the standings can be. The Eagles, in particular, have had their share of moments where they shot themselves in the foot. Games against the Cowboys, or the Bears, for instance, are the kinds of losses that sting because they were winnable. And those mistakes can make the difference between first place and playing catch-up. But here's the silver lining. The Eagles still hold tie-breakers against many of the teams ahead of them. That means if they can win the games they are supposed to, particularly against teams struggling with injuries or inconsistency, the path to the division title is still very much alive. Looking at the schedule, the upcoming matchups provide opportunities. The Commanders, for instance, are dealing with injuries to key players like Jaden Daniels and lack the firepower they had earlier in the season. With that in mind, there's a real chance for the Eagles to take advantage and gain ground in the standings. And then there's the Bills, who remain a formidable opponent. But the beauty of football is that momentum swings, and preparation, strategy, and execution can turn even the toughest matchups into winnable games. The Eagles have shown that they can rise to the occasion. And if Hurts continues his hands-on approach, breaking down film and applying lessons learned, the team is positioned to take control in critical moments. It's also worth reflecting on individual stories outside of Philadelphia, because they often intersect with what's happening here. For example, former Eagles like Zach Ertz have faced tough circumstances on other teams, including injury and big losses. Seeing a player of his caliber endure a rough game is a reminder of how fragile careers can be, and how important timing and opportunity are in the NFL. The context matters. Veterans trying to return to form, teams rebuilding, and the ebb and flow of talent across the league all affect the landscape the Eagles operate in. It highlights why leadership, preparation, and strategic decisions, like Hurts reviewing tape or the team making personnel adjustments, are so vital. And speaking of leadership, it's impossible not to mention the coaching situation. There's always debate about decisions made from the sideline. Whether it's the head coach or the assistants, people question every call. But it's easy to forget the constraints coaches face, from injuries to inconsistent quarterback play to line issues. Shane Steichen, for example, has had to navigate complex scenarios with limited options at times. Yet his ability to keep the team competitive and make tactical adjustments has been impressive. There's a balance between criticism and understanding the realities of running an NFL team, and the Eagles' success depends heavily on that dynamic, trusting the coaching staff while expecting accountability and results on the field. Through all of this, one thing is clear. The Eagles are not a team to settle. Every practice, every game, and every decision is being evaluated through the lens of winning now. and positioning for the playoffs. The NFC East may have its ups and downs, but Philadelphia's combination of talent, leadership, and strategic adjustments gives the team a real shot at coming out on top. Hurts' initiative to take control of his preparation, the careful roster moves to prioritize reliability, and the broader awareness of league dynamics all converge to shape the team's path forward. It's a mix of calculated risks, disciplined play, and seizing opportunities that could define how this season unfolds. Meanwhile, fans are watching closely, analyzing every game and every decision. The highs and lows of the season have been dramatic, with big wins against formidable opponents and frustrating losses where mistakes were costly. That's the roller coaster of being an Eagles supporter, moments of exhilaration punctuated by tension, yet always with a sense of hope because the talent is there, the leadership is present, and the team has shown it can rise to the occasion when it matters most. Every game now is pivotal, every matchup an opportunity to solidify positioning, and every player's performance can shift the momentum in ways that echo through the rest of the season. With all that in mind, it's exciting to see how the Eagles approach this stretch. Hurts taking responsibility for his preparation, the return of reliable contributors, and strategic awareness of opponents all signal a team that refuses to be complacent. The focus now is execution, making sure that effort translates to the field, capitalizing on weaknesses in opposing teams, and building momentum that can carry through the playoffs. Every snap, every play call, and every adjustment matters, and the way the team responds in this critical window could very well define the trajectory of the entire season. Now, as we move deeper into this stretch of the season, the Eagles' mindset is what really stands out. You can feel it in the way the team is preparing, in the way Hurts is approaching each game, and in the subtle changes in practice and strategy. There's a sense of urgency that permeates every meeting and every drill, because the margin for error in the NFC East is razor thin, and no game can be taken lightly. It's not just about talent on the roster, it's about execution, decision-making, and taking advantage of opportunities that arise when other teams falter. Every injury, every unexpected outcome, every turnover across the league becomes part of the calculus. And Philadelphia is trying to stay one step ahead. The ability to read these situations, adjust in real time, and capitalize on them will determine how far the team goes in the postseason. One of the key elements in this is the offensive strategy, and Hurts' role cannot be overstated. His decision to go back and study old tape is a reminder that elite players take personal accountability seriously. This isn't just about running plays. It's about understanding tendencies, recognizing defensive schemes, and exploiting weaknesses in a way that elevates the entire team. He's looking at what's worked in the past, considering what defenses are likely to throw at them, and making calculated adjustments to optimize performance. That level of preparation not only impacts the quarterback position, but also influences the decisions of receivers, running backs, and the offensive line when the quarterback is thinking the steps ahead. It allows the entire offense to operate more smoothly and creates opportunities for big plays that can swing momentum in tight contests. The return of Brandon Cooks to the roster is another factor that could have a significant impact. While he may not be the flashiest option, his reliability in securing catches, gaining consistent yardage, and avoiding mistakes adds stability to the game plan. In a league where turnovers and errors can decide playoff races, having a player who consistently produces and keeps drives alive is invaluable. His presence also allows Hurts and the coaching staff to explore a wider range of play calls, blending caution with creativity to keep opponents off balance. The chemistry between Hurts and the receiving corps is still developing, but the groundwork is being laid for more efficient execution and better scoring opportunities as the season progresses. Looking at the league as a whole, the NFC is proving to be unpredictable, and that unpredictability is working in Philadelphia's favor. Teams like the Rams and the Packers are winning and losing in ways that open doors for the Eagles, provided they can take care of business in their own matchups. Every team has weaknesses, and injuries across the league create openings that smart teams can exploit. For instance, upcoming games against the Commanders and other injured teams present critical chances to not only secure wins, but also improve positioning in the standings. Capitalizing on these situations requires focus, discipline, and the ability to execute under pressure, all qualities that the Eagles have shown glimpses of throughout the season. In addition, the coaching staff deserves recognition for navigating these challenges. Shane Steichen's ability to adapt, adjust, and manage personnel decisions under pressure has been crucial. From handling injuries to managing the quarterback situation, the coaches are constantly recalibrating the game plan to fit the available talent. It's easy for fans to criticize from the outside. But the reality is that coaching in the NFL involves a constant balancing act between strategy, player development, and real-time adjustments. The Eagles staff has shown they are capable of making those calls and keeping the team competitive even when the path forward isn't straightforward. Their decisions, combined with Hurts' leadership and initiative, create a dynamic that can carry the team through adversity and into contention. Another critical aspect is momentum. Football is often a game of psychological swings as much as physical ability. The Eagles have experienced both highs and lows, and the ability to maintain focus and composure is what separates playoff-caliber teams from the rest. Wins against teams like the Packers or competitive showings against division rivals build confidence and create belief in the locker room. Conversely, losses that feel preventable serve as reminders that attention to detail, discipline, and execution must never slip. The team's challenge is to harness the positive energy, learn from mistakes, and stay relentlessly focused on the goal of winning the division and securing home field advantage. Every play now carries weight, and every player's contribution is magnified because the margin for error is smaller than ever. The defense also plays a critical role in this equation, while the offense gets much of the spotlight. The Eagles' defensive unit has been instrumental in keeping games close and creating opportunities for the offense to capitalize pressure on opposing quarterbacks. The ability to limit big plays and creating turnovers are all elements that have shifted momentum in key moments. As the team looks forward, balancing offensive aggressiveness with defensive resilience will be essential. The synergy between the two units is what allows a team to dominate not just sporadically, but consistently, and that consistency is what playoff success is built on. Special teams, often overlooked, can also make or break a season. Field position, successful returns, and situational plays all influence the flow of the game. With the addition of reliable contributors like Brandon Cooks, the Eagles' ability to generate positive outcomes on special teams has improved. This adds another layer of advantage that can be critical in tight contests. Every yard gained, every snap executed cleanly, and every opportunity converted into points contributes to a broader strategic edge that opponents must account for. FlyEaglesFly News family, smash subscribe and hit like. Your support keeps the freshest Philadelphia Eagles updates flying in. Drop your take in the comments and let's talk birds. The Chargers are suddenly at the center of a swirling storm of speculation, as whispers coming from inside team circles suggest an unexpected shift may tilt momentum toward the Eagles before kickoff. No one is willing to go on record, but the talk around practice facilities has taken on a tense, uneasy tone, as if something significant changed behind closed doors. Some staffers were reportedly seen in hurried conversations, phones in hand, speaking in low voices and avoiding eye contact, fueling the sense that an unseen development has shaken game week preparations. Meanwhile, sources close to the Eagles insist the mood on their side is noticeably different, looser, more confident, almost as if they received news that lifted a weight off the organization. Observers at their training sessions noted a sharper pace, extra energy in walkthroughs, and a buzz that spread quickly among players and assistants, though no one is describing the situation openly. The timing of these shifts between the two camps has raised eyebrows across the league. Rumors vary wildly. Some insiders claim the Chargers coaching staff encountered a critical setback in their tactical planning. Others suggest a personnel update, perhaps involving a key player's condition or availability, quietly tipped the equilibrium. There are even murmurs that the Eagles became aware of something in the Chargers setup that could be exploited, giving them a psychological edge before a single snap is taken. The Chargers are officially dismissing the chatter, yet the tension around their headquarters says otherwise. Reporters lingering near team facilities describe the atmosphere as unusually guarded, with staff limiting access and offering clipped responses. The Eagles, on the other hand, seem content to let the rumor mill spin, smiling through media sessions without clarifying anything. As both teams inch closer to kickoff, one thing is clear: whatever happened has ignited a league-wide debate. Is this just noise amplified by anxious fans and opportunistic insiders, or the first crack in the Chargers' armor? Until the truth surfaces, the story continues to grow louder, feeding a sense that something big is unfolding just beneath the surface, and that, for now, the Eagles might be the ones benefiting from the chaos. That's a wrap from FlyEaglesFly News. If You want the fastest Eagles updates? Subscribe, drop a like, and turn on the bell. Sound off in the comments. Let's talk birds.